on the subject of transgender inclusionism, or inclusion, more accurately. Inclusionism, I'm not sure that's even a word or a thing, but inclusion. It's not a question about pushback against the perception of transgender rights or trans persons being perceived as the biological sex that they're choosing to identify as. Not gender, but sex. Two different things. Gender is a construct, sex is biological, rooted in science. It's not about any of that. What it is about, in my opinion, is this person woke up one morning and decided to set themselves on a course to horrific violence. Why did they do this? Well, I'll tell you what I think. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. And I'm going to start by saying this. There's only one Caitlyn Jenner. I'll say it again. There is only one Caitlyn Jenner. What do I mean by that? Well, Caitlyn Jenner, previously known as Bruce Jenner, and apologies to the trans folks out there who are mad about me dead naming Caitlyn, but the story needs to be told with accuracy. Bruce Jenner was born male, became a famous athlete, did a lot of great things, Olympian, medalist, tremendous accolades. Several years ago, Bruce decided to announce, I am no longer Bruce, my name is now Caitlyn. I am going to transition from a man to a woman, and I'm going to get the appropriate medical procedures to accomplish this. And she did. And I say she deliberately, because he became she. Bruce became Caitlyn. Bruce is gone, Caitlyn is here. Caitlyn Jenner is phenomenally wealthy. respect. At that basic interaction, that is it. That is the only interaction that is in any capacity required from one person to another, to show that person the same basic respect and dignity that you would in turn expect from that person. Beyond that, it is entirely subjective, or the decision of any individual person whether or not they choose to care or invest in your identity or your emotional health and well-being. It is completely on that person's own initiative whether or not they choose to go beyond basic respect and invest anything in any capacity in you, emotionally, financially, physically, or whatever. So, I'm saying all that to say that this person probably did not get the response they were looking for, and probably fell into some sort of depression of some sort. Like, why am I not getting the attention that I thought I would get when I announced I was transitioning? Why is no one paying attention to me? Why does no one care? And that just kept feeding into itself like a feedback loop, and getting louder and louder in this person's head, until they woke up one morning and said, you know what? It's got to be someone else's fault that this is the way it is, that my life isn't awesome because I announced that I'm transitioning from male to female. Someone is responsible for my life not being just amazing during my transition. So you know what? I'm going to make someone pay for this. This is someone else's fault. It has nothing to do with the consequences of my own actions. Someone else has to hurt. I'm going to make someone else hurt. What can I do about that? Well, I went to this school. You know what? I'm going to blame them. I'm going to go make them hurt, because I'm going to blame them as a convenient target for why my life is the way it is. And so they did. They drew up plans. They allegedly wrote a manifesto that may or may not ever see the light of day. And then they walked into a school and destroyed 6 families for no reason other than, I am unhappy, I want attention, look at me, pay attention to me, put my name in the headlines, make me famous, I want to be somebody special. And that person is dead. And I'm having a very hard time feeling sorry about that, because there are 3 children that person sent to the next life first, along with 3 adults who had no expectation or any blame in any capacity for this person's life situation. This person woke up and chose violence and decided to make someone else hurt for no reason whatsoever that is any grounding in factual basis, rationality, or sanity. This person was deranged, and now they are dead, thanks to the very swift response of the Nashville Police Department. And it's very hard, I would assume, for a lot of people to feel sad about this person being dead now. And I'm being very harsh about this, because this person does not deserve any sympathy or pity. This person killed 3 children for no reason. Why should they receive any form of pity? Their family should receive some condolences for the actions of their child. Like, we had no idea this person was going to be this, ridiculous. We didn't see this coming. We had no idea. Okay, well, fine, whatever. This person was an adult, made adult decisions, and is now going to be remembered in infamy, if this person is remembered at all. It's just the way I see it. Let me contrast that, however. Everyone wants attention. We live in an era where attention is literally, factually currency. I mentioned Caitlyn Jenner, and that is also deliberately feeding into this portion of my thoughts and views on this situation. Caitlyn Jenner received enormous attention for her transition. Caitlyn Jenner was a famous person before her transition and is inarguably more famous after her transition. Not simply because of the fact that this person transitioned from male to female, but because of the environment in which this person executed their transition. associated with celebrities, and money just washed over these people with a decadent lack of abandon that the rest of us can only look at with a mixture of shock, horror, and abject envy. Why are these people so famous and so wealthy for doing literally nothing, but having been born in such a time that they could capitalize on it and being in the right position to maximize their opportunity to, become rich and famous, but otherwise deserving neither riches nor fame. But yet, there they are. And that enabled, in my opinion, Caitlyn Jenner's transition to be then broadcast to the world. People could see Caitlyn becoming Caitlyn step by step, day by day, episode by episode. They watched it happen. They saw how Caitlyn was treated by a very accepting family. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are someone who is in transition from male to female or female to male, yes, you do deserve love and affection and support from your family. Because if you truly are gender dysphoric, you have gender dysphoria, you have been diagnosed as, legitimately, you have gender dysphoria, and the only true treatment for that mental condition is to transition, okay. Love and support should come your way because you have a diagnosed, verified medical condition that is in textbooks, that has been researched to some degree, and has symptoms associated with it. Everyone else who is not gender dysphoric but is yet deciding to identify as non-binary or transgender or whatever, how many of them are doing it just for the attention, not because they're actually gender dysphoric? I'm going to assume it's more than a few, because people are looking for attention. They're looking for attention as currency. They want the likes, the clicks, the shares. They want digital adoration to justify and validate their life choices. And I said I was going to contrast that, and here's the contrast. I'm going to put my life here into the digital ethos, as it were, the digital ether. Talk about my choices. I am not transitioning male to female. I am comfortably male. I will remain male until my dying day. That is my intention. That is my identity. That is who I am as a person. I am a man. I will always be that. However, I have made choices that I regret. I have made decisions that have had profound effect upon my life, positive, neutral, and negative. And I have gone about my life in such a way that has both brought me to and denied to me opportunities. Let me talk about that a little bit here. I went to college for an art degree. I got out of college as right at the height of the Great Recession with a useless degree. A degree that was going to get me no job. And I struggled out of college trying to make something happen with this degree because I was committed. I have to make this. I went to college for this degree, put a lot of time in, put a lot of work into it. I've got to make it work. I've got to make it do something. And I kind of did. I found ways to make my art degree work. I went to school for photography and film, okay? I was a photographer for several years. There are families across the Midwestern United States who have photos on their walls that I took that they're going to treasure for decades. They may never remember my face. They won't remember who I was. They won't remember the session where those photos were taken, but they will look at those photos. They will treasure them because they will be the encapsulation of a memory in a moment. Now, I remember some of those sessions. I remember some of those sessions very clearly because they were very incredible moments in my professional career where I was able to quite literally touch the lives of the people I was working with, and they in turn reciprocated by then ordering those photos from me, and I got paid from those orders. It was very nice. However, it was a low-paying job. Then I worked in a video editing situation for a few years until I realized that it was not going to lead right field. Because I enjoyed that job immensely. I enjoyed the work and the challenge. I enjoyed it tremendously. However, I was grossly underpaid, and it was leading me nowhere. So I went back to photography. Did that for a few years until I realized, look, this is where I'm at right now. It's not going to take me anywhere special. I've got to make a significant change to how I do things. And then that brought me to trucking. Now, it's been a lot of years of sacrifice and hard work and hard lessons and a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of loneliness, a lot of financial struggle. But do I blame anyone else for my life choices? Absolutely not. I made my choices out of a combination, in some cases, of ignorance, believing that I could come out of college with a art degree and get a job and, go on to live comfortably, be able to afford a wife and children and a house in the suburbs and, the 2.5 cars and the vacation to Disney once a year and all that good stuff. Like, that was ignorance. I didn't know that coming out of college and when I graduated years and years and years ago with an art degree was going to lead me to nothing. I didn't know that the connections I missed were going to quite literally derail my creative career. I didn't know. I had no idea. Had I known then what I had known now, then I'd be a completely different situation right now. No question about it. Like, I wouldn't even be trucking. I wouldn't even have this YouTube channel because I'd be doing something totally different. I wouldn't feel I needed either one of these things. But choices were made. They cascaded on through. And now here I am. Now, do I blame women for not just fawning all over me as, oh, look at you, King, you've got your business going, you're going to do all this amazing stuff, we want to line up to jump on you because what you're doing is awesome. No, women don't care. They do not care who I am. They don't know who I am. Nothing about that. And you're going to say, oh, this guy's an incel. No, this is voluntary. This is part of the grind. This is the sacrifice that I am making. I am lonely because I am in the formative phase of my business where it's grind or, do something else entirely. This is the point where I'm under the greatest pressure, where the greatest challenge lies before me in order to make this business work. And I have no recourse but to focus on this and commit everything I've got to it to make sure that I launch it properly. So, do I blame women for not paying attention to me? No, not at all. Why? Because I am not places where women will see me. I am not places where women will care about me. I am not places where women that I would like to be with even are aware that I exist. Why is that? Because this is the time when I have to work. This is the time when I have to grind. This is the time where if I want to realize my goals for myself, in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, this is where I have to grind. I'm not going to go into some school and blame them, like, my life sucks because of you, and then start hosing the place down with 556. I'm not going to walk up to my parents, you didn't tell me this was going to suck so much, and then hose them down. No, those things are not going to happen. Why? Because I have the mental fortitude to understand that my life is the way it is because of the choices that I made, the decisions that I made, the consequences of my own actions, and there is no one to blame for the situation that I'm in except for myself. And I can't even blame myself for the position that I'm in because, quite frankly, I'm in a pretty good position. I own the truck that I'm driving, the trailer that I'm pulling. I own it. I have a 2021 Mustang GT sitting in a garage at home. I'm in a really good position. It's taken me a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of hard work to get to this point, and I know that at the end of this road, so to speak, literally as well as figuratively, success awaits me. The manifestation of what I've been working for awaits me, and I am literally driving is so radical, that is so thoroughly alien, that only an adult person who has had years of being able to consider the pros and the cons and the ramifications and the consequences of that process should be allowed to engage upon it. Because we have seen so many instances of children being exposed to this, deciding it was for them, and then, deleting themselves, as it were, because they were so unprepared for the enormity of it all, that it's very clearly evident that as far as things are right now, this is an adult-only situation, and therefore these conversations and these ideas and these displays should be confined to adult-only spaces, because the children quite literally do not have the mental capacity to be ready for it. Like the same argument people want to make, well, you shouldn't teach the Bible in schools because it's going to indoctrinate children into a religious ideology. Well, you shouldn't be teaching transitory ideologies in schools because it could indoctrinate children into the possibilities that they should do this thing. It's the exact same argument, the exact same rationale. Well, you should ban guns because people could do these things. No, people are choosing to pervert enumerated rights in order to inflict damage because of their own problem, not because the opportunity is there. That's the harsh reality of it as I see it. Doesn't mean I'm right, that's just the way I see it. Actions have consequences. Choices have consequences. Yeah, would I like to have a collection of supermodels lusting after me on Instagram? Absolutely I would. Is it going to happen to me? Nope, probably not. Will I be okay without that? Yeah, I'll be fine. Because at some point, I'm going to be happier than I am now. I know this for a fact. But I'm going to be okay. Everyone else, I have no idea. But that's the responsibility of everyone else to deal with. Everyone else has their own life to be responsible for. I've got a business to run and my own self to take care of. You want me to invest in your emotional need? Invest in mine. Well, you don't care about me, so why should I care about you? It sucks, doesn't it? Attention and validation will not come to you just because you announce you are something different than what you were born. Reality of it. If you expect to be the next Caitlyn Jenner because you announce on some social media platform that you are no longer you are choosing to identify as the gender that is not the one you were born as, and you expect to receive adulation and adoration and accolades and, oh, you're so brave. It's like, no. People are caring less and less with each passing day. That is just the harsh, unyielding reality of the situation. And with this act of violence, the trans community has taken a massive hit.